Welcome you all to the data science class. Those who are old students, once again, and those who are new, you are really welcome to join us this evening. Particularly, this evening is not part of our schedule, but due to those who just joined the program, it will be fair if we all start, then we get to the same level before classes resume next week, as everyone gets along and no one gets lost. You are all welcome once again. This evening, I'm going to run you through the whole data science concept. And after that, I will take questions and answers. Then we will end our class very peacefully. Next week, kindly take note, next week we are going to do practice. Yes, we need to learn a certain programming language called R programming language. That's what you'll be needing as a data scientist. At least you should know one programming language, and I will start teaching you the R. So those who have computers is going to be in your favor very much, and I also find a way for those of us who don't have computers so that we can also benefit from the same cake with a fair share. So next week, I will start introducing you to the R. Then we will start analyzing data. I'll give you work, real work, to go and get data, then analyze. You predict your results. Then you will see yourself in the position of a data scientist in the real world. In this program, I've been told this program is structured in such a way none of the classes should be theory only. No, should be all practicals. Right. So let's begin. Those who don't have computers, I'll actually fight through for you. I'll see if there is a mobile version for the R Studio. For those who have computers, please after this class go and download R Studio. The name is R Studio. Capital R Studio. So when you go to Google and you search, you can get it. Download it on your machine and we will start real work next week. Right. Let's start. Data science. Data science, we actually will break it down for everyone to understand what really is data science. Most of students in this class are very new to the field of data science. They've heard it and it seemed very interesting to them. So they are just coming to try their luck and see if it will actually benefit them or not. So I'll do my possible best for you to understand it this evening so that you know the path you are taking. Yes. So data science, let's break it down. Data and science. Now, from our basic knowledge in our primary schools, in our various elementary and high school colleges, we know data to be a set of raw facts. So you can actually make up your mind that look, I want to actually gather data. Please, in data science, when we talk about data, we are not talking about your mobile bundle data. No, please. Take your mind far from there. We are talking about real data. Data. Okay. Now, when we talk about data, data is a raw fact. So data can be in the form of numbers. Data can be in the form of video. Data can be in the form of picture. It's a whole lot. We have a whole lot of or a whole types of data that comes together. When we talk about science, science is actually, as we know, it is actually you verifying that something really exists. And as it is existing, is there any approach for you to actually know this is how it exists? So science and data, we are using this scientific method to actually analyze data to get better results, to predict future events, to make decisions, to train machines, to actually make data very unique or important in our daily life, because for now data is very expensive. Data is very expensive. Now, as a data scientist, one thing you need to know, or is a fundamental for you, is to know how to gather your data. So, if you are being asked, for example, if you are lucky and MTN picks you, then you go, then they say, look, gather data about Momo for us and actually analyze Momo, the Momo service. In fact, as your potential, let us see what you can do for us to help us make the Momo service very better. You can't just go and tell them they should reduce the Momo charges. They should whatever you want to say. They shouldn't deduct when someone conduct transaction, or they actually should remove e-levy or something. You can't just say that. No, data scientist, you talk with facts. What did you find? And what analysis have you made? And based on that analysis you've made, what predictions can you give? Right, let's dig inside. Now, in data science, you have, after being a data scientist or digging into data science, you have a very broad knowledge which comprises of these fields in you. That's in you, one person. You can have this knowledge in you when you study data science. Right, let's take it one by one. We are starting from scientific method. How are you going to get your data? If I say I have a system or I have an app, then I'm employing you as a data scientist. Christopher, I'm employing you as a data scientist. Now, my app, people are using my app. I want you to detect, in fact, how users feel about my app. And based on your data you get, give me advice on what I can do best to make this app very unique and continue to grow my users. You, as a data scientist, will actually find your own way. I won't give you data. No. You are going to find your own way, get your data. Go to your one corner, use any of the softwares you want to use, analyze it, draw your conclusion, and predict when when that conclusion is taken, what would happen. It's your job to do it. Now, you are going to use various scientific ways to gather your data. It's up to you how you will do it. Okay, math. As a data scientist, In fact, some of the softwares you'll be using deals with mathematics. Now, it's basically going to be in the form of statistics and mathematics because the software is good. You are coming to give the software the number of users. The software now, the software is coming to group this number of users into males, females, number of people from here, number of that from here. So you see, at the end, you will find a bit of statistics. That's your graph going up, some your bar chart coming down, a bit of mathematics, and a bit of statistics. Advanced computing. It's obvious that as a data scientist, when you are done with your course, you should be very good in computing because your work you are also going to do when you study data science go very further. You are going to tackle something called big data. They are really big. Big data. Big data, you are actually going to handle a large data set. So you can get a data set of Twitter. After this class, I'll give you an assignment to get me a data set so that you have a feel of what a data set look like. I'll give you an assignment. Okay, write it down. Um Now go wherever you as data scientist use your potential, wherever you get it, go and get the data set of Twitter, then keep it. We will use it when doing our practicals. Go and get the data set. Data, D-A-T-A set, S-E-T. Data set of Twitter. Then we will be using that data set, that particular data set for our analysis. So from here, you should be working on it. Go and get the data set. When you get it, try and go through, try and work around and see how it feels like to hold a data set of a major social media. Okay, advanced computing. You will be doing a lot of computing work. You will be working a lot because you have to analyze data. In fact, for this Twitter data set, you will get the data set, you analyze how many people like on average tweet a day, how many people tweet negative thoughts, how many tweet positive thoughts, how many post pictures. So you see all those statistics. You are going to do a lot of advanced computing. Then visualization, it's obvious. You are going to visualize your data in the form of bar charts, pie charts, a whole lot. Visualization. Hacker mindset. When you talk about hacker mindset, not that you are going to hack. No, hacker mindset, you are going to be very intelligent and smart. As a data scientist, you should be security conscious because data is very expensive. If you are working with a company, you are holding their data. If you release or if you make a mistake and that data you are holding gets to their competitors, you are doomed. Their competitors will get that data, use that to improve upon themselves, then overtake your company in terms of performance. As a data scientist, you will hold very vital points in any company you are employed. When you go and work at MTN or any other company, and MTN gives you the data of Momo, number of people use or their data set of Momo, you can't give that data set to Airtel Tigo or Vodacash. Their data scientists will get your data, will analyze things and see, oh, okay, this is what MTN does. Oh, okay, this. Then they apply to their service. Then you see people will be moving from Momo to Voda Cash or Airtel Tigo. So data scientist, you need to be security conscious, protect your data because that's your wealth. And that's why you are being paid that amount. They are one of the most highest paid field in IT, data science, because It is believed if you don't pay the person well and the person release that data, that company is doomed. So they treat you very well. You too be security conscious not to lose your job. Domain expertise. When we talk about domain expertise, it comes with a whole lot. For example, as a data scientist, you'll be using these analytics. I don't know if any of you knows about analytics, but I'll go down for you. When we talk about analytics, right? Should I show you some? Okay, let me try and show you some analytics because I believe most of you are very new and so I'm coming to show you example of an analytics so that you have a feel of analytics. Okay, now let me share this screen for you. Analytics. Now, what you are seeing is, oh, yes, is analytics of a specific website. Today, the number of unique visitors who have visited that website up to now, from morning to now, is 5.5K. So 5,500 uh, users have visited that particular system. Now, the number of page views is 24,000, like 24.3K have viewed it. Now, the average number of
Hello,
time,
sir.
yes, please talk.
Please, my line was breaking. Please, can you kindly go to the analysis for me, please?
Come again.
My line was breaking. I didn't really get the analysis.
Okay, okay. So I'm showing you example of analytics. Data scientist, you'll be using this. So you see, this is actually showing a statistics of a certain website. Now, the number of users who have visited this particular website today is 5,500 users. Now, the number of page views, people viewing the page, coming in, logging out, logging in, 24.3K, that is 24,000. Now, the average time a person spent on that website is 3 minutes 21 seconds. Now, the bouncing rate, when we talk about the bouncing rate, okay, it is, let me say, it um, is it a process or something? Yes, whereby the person or the tendency for the person to come back to that website is 38.7%. The speed of the site is 10.1 seconds. So these statistics, as a data scientist, you'll be using it more to help your organization and a whole lot. Okay, let's move back to where we were. Right, now we have a feel of this domain expertise. We have data engineering. Data engineering. When we talk about data engineering, now when you get your data, there are a whole lot of apps you are going to use, but some of them demands a deep pattern. This is where deep learning comes inside and machine learning comes inside. This is where you can use data to actually train a system for it to work. So when you talk about data engineering, this one you are going to dive more deeper. You are going to draw patterns in your data. You are actually going to drive your data to make important decisions. So, for example, in the field of car manufacturing, because if an automobile company employs you as a data scientist. Your work there is purely data engineering. You are going to gather data. You use that data to train these self-driving cars for them to work. So here you can see the work or the magnitude of the work that's there. Now, all these are pointing to data science, meaning by the end of you studying data science, you should be having at least a knowledge each from these subfields. Okay. Any question before I move on?
Yes, please.
Okay. I'm listening.
Please, regarding we made mention of data severally in the presentation, and you know that information now on the net depends upon the accuracy and the validity of and the content of that info. And there are a lot of data around. I mean, we made mention of data sets. So how then do we really gather that data set about that particular, let me say, a Twitter or Snapchat that we want to analyze about it and give some recommendation? How do we do it, basically?
All right. Very good question. Okay. Now, note something. As a data scientist, you are going to source your data yourself. And so you should find ways to get the data. Now, the data you are going to get, you should know where you are going to get your data. So let's use this Twitter, for example. Twitter, these big social media, they have where they keep their data. For them, you can go straight and pick the data set. But let's say you want to make a survey on the internet because the internet is very broad. As a data scientist, the data you are going to collect now, at that moment you finished collecting that data, it is not accurate or perfect. It is not a perfect data. There will be errors inside. There will be duplicate. There will be a whole lot. For example, when you are being tasked to make that this consensus or the survey to count the number of people in a certain community, by the end of your counting, you are going to get, let me say, 4,000 people in a community. Now, that 4,000, if you go straight and go and tell them they are 4,000, I will tell you, you are not a good data scientist. The 4,000 you've gotten, the probability that ghost names are inside is very high. The probability that they are duplicates, the probability that the data even you've collected, someone has altered it. So you are going to sit down again, analyze your data very well. So data science, as a data scientist, you just don't collect data, then you just use no. You get your data, you sort it out, you verify the data and say, okay, this data is at least, if give a margin of, let me say, 0.1%, or let's say 1% should be error, the rest should be correct data. But when you collect your data, don't just assume they are all good and you are good to go. No, analyze your data, such as when you send a Google form, you see someone might fill twice, even though Google form can limit the number of submission. But no, Google form can limit when you use two separate emails, you can fill a Google form twice. You is your work as a data scientist to go through this Google form data you've gotten and, in fact, actually sort all of them out. Know that there is no duplicate, there is no wrong spelling, and there should be, where there should be email, there shouldn't be mobile number, because some people, they actually, some are oversight, some are deliberate. Where you ask the person to enter the mobile number, the person is going to enter an email or address or something. All this you need to check and see your data is now correct. If not perfect, it's close to perfect. So it's your job to verify your data you get wherever. The internet is full of errors, is full of misinformation. It's your duty as a data scientist to make sure the data you get, if not perfect, it's close to perfect. Okay,
All right, please. Thank
sure. Okay, we are moving on. Now we have data science goals and deliverables. Um, I'll take my time, take you through one by one, then we'll go. Okay, to those who just joined, if you are using a PC after this class, go and download R Studio, and you can even start playing around it. Next week, we will start practicing. So after here, to go and search for data set of Twitter and keep it. This one, irrespective of whether you are using a phone or a computer, you can actually go and get the data set of Twitter and keep it. When you get the data, try to go through and see what you find. So we will start working on that one. Okay. Now, prediction. Predict a value based on inputs. In fact, data science, as a data scientist, what it's naturally, it's part of you. You should be able to predict based on what you have. For example, you are the team leader of a data science team, or you have a data science team in a particular. Now, note, you don't work alone. A data scientist, you don't work alone. When they employ you, you have those under you, you'll be using them for data collection, for manipulating the data, for analyzing, doing the prediction and those that you don't work alone. Your work is very tedious for you alone to work. No, you don't work alone. Now, maybe you are a team lead of a team to conduct consensus for a particular co- community or company. Now, you finished everything, collecting the data. You analyze the data. Then, according to your analyzing of the data, you saw that, in fact, 60% of people living in that community are of the age, or are between the age of, let me say, 10 and 19. 60%. Okay. Now, 20% currently are between the ages of 50 to 100. Then the next 20% are between the ages of 20, then 49. Based on this, you as a data scientist, you should be able to predict that in the next 10 years, that means the person who is currently 10 years is going to be 20 years. Now you should be able to predict in the next 10 years that particular community is going to have more young people, or is going to have a young population. Very simple as that. You should be able to predict based on what you have in your power. Please, do you have any question with this? Okay, let's continue. Our class will end any moment. We will rejoin again, then we will continue. But before that, let's continue. Okay, classifications. Now, as a data scientist, you see, there are lots of these spam. Spam is just, let me say, spam can come in so many forms. We have and that it can come as a bot and it can come as a fake something. Now let's take as a bot part. So a spam bot is a bot whereby it mimics human beings. So if there are spam bots on Twitter, someone will post, then at least three accounts will just come, then give a comment or like at the same time. Then their comment will be like, it's beautiful. This one say it's gorgeous. This one say it's awesome. So you see, you find that trend. It is. By the one changing is just the vocabulary. It means that spam bot is a dictionary spam bot synonym. So we just be changing synonym. It's not a human being. So data scientist, you should be able to detect this very fast. Yes, those on Twitter, you can
Hello,
actually,
sir.
yes.
So does it mean that I'm using YouTube as an illustration? So
Okay.
does it mean most of the likes people have on YouTube, that is it a kind of a spam or something? Because some videos that are